Okay. Welcome, Tobin. Dr. Tomfoolery, cryptology anarchist. I don't know how your titles keep getting better and better, Dr. Tomfoolery, but they
Yeah,
do.
it happens.
So you want to talk about your mask?
Huh. Cat mask.
No, that is a cat mask. There's no doubt about that, dude. That's great.
It looks like it's got the Cheshire cat,
Yeah,
that grin that cat was given.
I just have, and this is my problem probably. I just have garden variety masks. I just have boring masks, I would say too. I mean, they're effective. Don't get me wrong, but I think I need to get some tricked out masks. That's what
I really like doing the bandana or one of those sleeves that pull over your head because it like wraps around all the way and you can get it tight too. But you can also tuck in the bottom part, and it's like, I don't know how much more I'm actually like capturing and or keeping out, but also too it's more comfortable on the ears, like those ones with the little bands that go around my ears. I will wear one if necessary, but I prefer to get something else.
I had a couple of N90 masks, and the ear, they just snapped. The strings attached to the mask itself on two different occasions at work. One, I was actually walking into a job, and I was about to enter the place, and I was putting the mask over my ears, and one of the bands snapped, and I'm like, crap, I don't have a backup mask, which was stupid of me. I should have had a backup mask, but I didn't that day. So I had to go down to the store, buy a new mask, had to hold the thing over my face like an idiot while I was buying the mask. So yeah, those N90 masks, I've had difficulty with them.
Yeah, my mask is convenient. I can just leave it hung around my neck when I'm out and about outside of stores, and I can just quick put it up.
Dr. Tomfoolery. I gotta tell you, Dr. Tomfoolery, right? I was looking at the chat and I didn't realize that you took the mask off. I'm looking at your face. It's like, that's a different mask.
Yes, very furry mask.
Right, very furry mask indeed. D saying I'm thinking about buying a gas mask.
It's so lifelike.
It is. You wouldn't even know you have one on. I know I've talked about buying one of those bubble helmets, like one of the space helmets. And if things get worse, if there's a new variant that is even more transmissible than the Delta one, I'm going to snap. I'm just going to snap, and I'm just going to, like I said, a friend of mine had a breakthrough infection, and that gave me pause. That gave me pause. So I might, if you see me, if I buy one, I will model it for you all, in case I do buy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I actually like those big face mask shields. Those are awesome. Especially, I used one because I cut stuff and it throws shit everywhere, and I don't want that in my face.
No, dude, you don't. So you got a furry friend there, Dr. Tomfoolery.
Yeah.
And what's the feline's name?
Ziff. Named after my favorite law and statistics, Ziff's law.
Okay. So I have no idea what Ziff's law is. I imagine it's named after someone named Ziff. Maybe.
Named after George Ziff.
Can you summarize it in less than 50 words?
If I tried, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like what you did there. But I'll say, Tobin, at the beginning of the pandemic, where I thought I was going to have to work at my old job, right, the job that I left, I bought a bunch of those face masks. Yeah, I bought a ton of those face shields, and I only used them a handful of times, but I think I still have a bunch of them kicking around.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Stone Monkey Research Labs. You're so prolific. I imagine that is you, sir. You're so prolific. You're a doctor. You're a representative of Stone Monkey Research Labs. So much to offer.
Jason asked me, what do I cut? I'll cut, mostly it's wood, but I mean, there's other things, metal, and you definitely want a mask and face mask doing metals and stuff because, well, even wood too, just breathing in small particles like gets gross.
Oh, dude, it gets super gross. I at the old house I was living at in suburbs, we could burn brush, and I'll tell you, it was just disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
I thoroughly clean my nasal passages and stuff like that because it really does. It gets clogged up with shit, even if you're wearing mask and stuff.
oh yeah, you get all jammed up. It's horrible. It's nasty. I'm glad I. That's what broke me to that house. It was, for me, it was a big lot. It was like 3/4 of an acre lot, a bunch of trees, and and it was an old house too. It was a house built in the 1850s, and so after that house, I'm like, I'm never going to buy anything big again. I'm never going to live in a place that, basically the house owned me, right? A lot of my spare time was just working and doing stuff around the house. And yeah, Rage. What's up, Rage?
What's up, Neil?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Bowl number 2, sir?
Yeah. Well, I've been up for a while. I had a doctor's appointment this morning, but
All right.
yeah, just kind of got home from that, so I'm catching up.
All right, I hear. So I want to, who that painting behind you that you're using on your backdrop there, is that a famous painting? It seems like a famous painting.
It's actually animated.
Right.
Yeah, so it's I think it could be, but I'm not sure where it's from. But yeah, it's like an animated background that I saw Godless Granny using it once too, and I'm like, you're using my background.
That is pretty nice, though. I will say that.
Yeah, I like it, especially if I can get the green screen working and it's actually me instead of my little cartoon avatar. That's even better.
Right. Right. So you could actually be burning in the lake of fire, in the city of Dith, or whatever it is,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It'd be
destined
cool,
for
too.
that anyway.
It'd be cool too if like it gave out a little scream or holler every once in a while, like in the background, like ah.
Yeah,
that would be.
Yeah, some like souls burning on that little flame. That'd be great.
Sure enough. So what have you been up to, man? How's your health doing anyway? Was this the big appointment about surgery and stuff?
I was supposed to have that today, but that got pushed back yesterday to September 2nd. I think like this whole Delta variant is really kicking in and making it hard to get into appointments. So yeah, they pushed that back on me yesterday. This was a follow-up to quitting smoking, and I had to sit there and tell them, yeah, I quit, but then I started again, and take that lump on the chin.
Yeah, that's it's, I feel for you, man. I never smoked enough to get really hooked because I'm a big pussy, if you haven't realized it. I mean, that's in the addiction business they call it a high bottom, but as soon as save your jokes, everyone, save your jokes. But as soon as I felt things were going sideways, I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah, it's so ingrained in me. Like I started smoking cigarettes probably regularly when I was like 17. Yeah. But we grew up stealing them here and there from our parents. So like I've been smoking them since I was a little kid. It's so ingrained in me now. Like I quit for a good solid 2 months, and I got to this point to where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good now. I don't even have to worry about it. And as soon as I started thinking about that, I bummed one cigarette, and man, I'm right back to where I was before.
Well, there you go. Yeah. Well, I'll say this, and most people with addiction, and this, everyone, right? I mean, recovery from any kind of addiction, it isn't a straight line.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I was told, like by a lot of people. It's like, dude, you're gonna quit, you're gonna start again, you're gonna quit. You can't let it get you down. You just got to keep trying. Eventually, you'll do it.
Exactly. Whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, anything that you're addicted to, it takes several starts, stops, and you're right. You know, it's important not to beat yourself up too much over it.
Yeah, because you get thrown in these situations like, you know, I actually have the same thing, Rage. I deal with the same thing. And then, like, I'll walk into a convenience store and then just not even really think about it and blurt out, I want a pack of Pall Mall Blue 100.
Yeah, because you're just so used to it. It becomes routine. You go to that counter. That happened to me a couple times as I've been trying to quit. You go to the counter, you're not even thinking about it. You're not, I'm not going to get that pack of cigarettes, but then it just comes out of your mouth because you say it every time you go to that counter. It's little things like that. They're a bitch, man.
I'll say this. I'm thankful that I can't smoke in bars. I remember smoking in bars when I was back in the 90s and everything. And that was not healthy for Andy. That was not healthy for me.
I remember being a bartender, smoking cigarettes behind my bar as I bartended.
Yeah, right.
That's how old I am.
Yeah. Dr. Tom Fuller, you've probably heard this many times before, but you have this kind of Logan, X-Man, Wolverine kind of vibe going on there. I mean, you don't have the full-blown mutton chops that Wolverine has, but with the hair and everything, and just I think the shape of the face. That was meant to be a compliment, by the way.
That's actually the first time anyone's ever compared me to him.
Yeah. You got a vibe going on.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman's the only Wolverine, so MCU better get it right.
Oh, geez, man. I have not been happy with a lot of the X-Men franchise, and I am.
Oh, I thought they butchered the X-Men franchise, but I thought Hugh Jackman nailed Wolverine, especially in that first movie. Like he was Logan to a core.
Yeah, and I was happy with Old Man Logan, of course, right?
That was the best one, I think.
Oh yeah, because it was rated R. You can't have. How can you have Wolverine with claws, right? Without the blood and the gore. And
from what I'm hearing, they're bringing him. They are going to bring Hugh Jackman. They're pretty close to a deal, from what I hear. At least for one movie, he's going to be a variant, and then they're going to settle on the new Wolverine. That's how they're going to introduce the new Wolverine.
Man, you can do anything now in the Marvelverse because of all these variants, right?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm stoked for it. Like I'm such a little geek. I'm a geek in a candy store when it comes to Marvel.
Yeah. Upcoming What If series is going to be. Who knows what is going to happen on that?
Yeah. Those were always some of my favorite comics, because it gave you different twists than the ones that because I grew up, I taught myself how to draw with Marvel comics and Wolverine and X-Men and stuff. So, the What If series gave you twists to all the stories that you read, so I loved it. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. So Chris Maria said, gave up drugs cold turkey, huh? Job well done for you, Chris Maria.
Yeah, I was able to do it with alcohol, but then I substituted my weed, and I once I started having these health issues, I think I naturally just started overusing some of the prescriptions they were giving me to kind of make up for it. So yeah, like I always say that with an asterisk beside it. I quit cold turkey the alcohol, but then I utilized other things to kind of fill that void.
Yes. Yeah, I can see that. Well, a lot of the time you'll see someone say something along the lines, well, I gave up heroin for an example, and now I'm clean, but they smoke pot. And it's like, well, that's harm reduction to some extent, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're trading marijuana for heroin, then job well done. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I think you're making the right steps in life, definitely.
There are things that I have quit doing throughout my life. I can make changes in my life. If I decided I can be just like, I don't want to do this. But cigarettes, there are some drugs out there, and cigarettes are definitely one, because it is hard for me to do it. Like, it doesn't really fuck with me emotionally or whatever, but as soon as I get around it or like, you know, have access to it, I just might pick it up and fucking smoke one. And it is so fucking weird. Like
Yeah.
no matter how much I'm like disgusted by it, the smell, the taste of it, I still do it. It's so fucking weird.
They say it's the most addictive drug on the planet, but it's not even like what's funny is like it's not even the nicotine that's addictive. You know, your body produces nicotine naturally. It's all the crap they put in it to preserve it. You know, that's what you're putting into your body that you're really becoming dependent on. And you know, I've tried a lot of different things. I try to go to just like, you know, pouch tobacco that didn't have those preservatives in it, and it's not the same thing. You know,
Interesting.
your mind tells you you're getting the nicotine, but your body's telling you, hey, I need all this other stuff too. And it never, you know, I'd always go back to the processed packaged cigarettes that has those, you know, what you're talking, strychnine and a bunch of different chemicals that they put into this stuff to keep it fresh.
Yeah,
I definitely think people who quit heroin and if they just smoke weed, man, my hat's off to them. Bravo, because I have seen the other end of that. There are some people who can't give it up, and then, you know, that's some hard stuff. That definitely is. And anybody who can make it to where they're just smoking pot, dude, my thumbs are up.
2 thumbs
Good
up.
job. Good job.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And a lot of heroin addicts nowadays, because I mean they've been around since, you know, people have been processing opium, but it does seem to be a bigger problem than when I was growing up. You know, we were doing different stuff, but now it seems like a lot of people are doing heroin. We've fired a few people at our job for using on, you know, they'll be in the bathroom shooting up and shit. You know, it's like, what the hell? And I think it's because of you know, a big pharma pushing out all these opiates through pain reducers. People get hooked on them, and then, you know, the doctors will take away the prescriptions. So it's you go out on the streets and you buy heroin, and it's cheaper, and you're getting the same thing.
Well, you know, I mean, man, the opioid epidemic, it is crazy. I know, you know, working in the job that I work at, you know, I've seen people on you know, legitimate opioid treatment for pain management, and then the doctors take them off it because they want to be more conservative about dosing, and that just leaves, you know, that can leave someone just with cranked up pain. You know, it is a difficult situation to navigate, and you're right, Rage. Especially who is it? The Purdue family. They help pump opioids into the population with misinformation.
Oh yeah, you know, and will they ever pay the price? You know, Big Tobacco paid a price for their misinformation back in the day, but I don't think, you know, in the wake of Citizens United and corporations taking over America, that we'll ever see that again.
Yeah, and there's nothing going to be real. I mean, people won't be taking, you know, there won't be people thrown into jail over it, right?
Yeah,
and unless people get thrown into jail, then there isn't really a disincentive. So if you have $1 billion company and the company has to pay $15 million or $100 million, it's not that much of a disincentive not to pull that crap in the future.
Well, yeah, and it goes to show you how addictive you know, these tobacco products are, because by all means and rights, what the federal government did to Big Tobacco back in the late '80s should have ended it. You know, I remember back in the day saying, "Oh, if I ever have to pay $4 for a pack of cigarettes, I'll quit immediately. I'm never going to pay that much. I pay $8 a pack now."
Yeah.
You know, you just pay more. You'll figure it out, and you'll make room for it, and you'll continue that habit. You know.
Yeah. I'll tell you what my personal kryptonite is, and that is relationships. There's not only can I say dysfunctional relationship, and this is no surprise to anyone who watches this channel or who knows me personally. It is and I can tell when I'm using too, when I'm involved in a dysfunctional relationship, or when I'm about to enter it. It's like, Andy, you know what you're doing. This is just, you're in a vulnerable spot emotionally, and this person is giving you attention that you really like and need, or feel like you need, and then it just goes so downhill after that. Yeah, borderline personality disorder. That is my heroine right there. I've only been in 2 relationships with people who have borderline personality disorder. They both ended. One ended disastrously. The other one just ended, naturally. But yeah, dude, that is something I have to be on guard about, especially if I'm not feeling good about myself, or if I'm in a situation, or if I'm not in a healthy relationship to begin with. And that's the trick for me. If I'm not in a healthy relationship to begin with, then I can easily start using,
Yeah, see, my thing is I can't keep relationships because of my OCD. If people have a hard time living with it.
Yeah, well, I can understand it. My personal issues, they make me be involved in relationships. My mom was my adopted mother who raised me. Along with my dad. She had borderline personality disorder. I know it's creepy, everyone. I know it's creepy, but a lot of this right here is just over the years learning how to manage the symptoms, manage the problems.
Yeah, I've done it. I embrace my OCD. I love it. It's how I'm able to pump out as much work as I do. But if I'm in a relationship with somebody, they hate it because I'm not paying attention to them, or I can do something for 8 hours and completely lose track of what I'm doing, and that person sitting right next to me, like for 8 hours, this dude has not said a word, hasn't even acknowledged my existence. I totally understand how it becomes wearing on people, but it's something I wouldn't really want to change about myself either.
I want to say hello to Digital Hammurabi.
Hey, what's up, Dr. Josh?
Dr. Josh, how you doing? I know more about late biblical Hebrew and the book of Daniel now than I ever thought I would know, thanks to his book. I was up at 4:30 this morning. What did I do? I'm gonna keep reading the book. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's funny. I had this debate with CJ Cox a while back, and usually when I do biblical slavery debates, it's did biblical slavery exist in the Bible? Dr. Josh has helped me exponentially on that topic. I'm very lucky to have a connection that is as brilliant as he is on the subject to be able to help me with it. But this debate, it wasn't about did it exist. CJ is a rational person. He sees that it clearly did. It was about the ethics of it. And CJ's position is, I still want, we should have that slavery today, so, and I, doing what I do, lost my shit during that debate because it was very, it's just rare when you hear a Christian just come out and say the words that everybody thinks and they don't say, right? And CJ seems to think that Dr. Josh would actually give him a different debate than that, and I'm like, Dr. Josh is going to be appalled by that shit too. Like,
I find it a breath of fresh air, actually, for someone who actually supports what the Bible says.
It is a different. It's why I can't really be mad at CJ Long, because, I mean, at least he says the things they think.
Say it out loud.
Yep.
Say it out loud. Because then it just falls into this whole, you're convincing anyone who might be like undecided on this whole God guy. It's like, I don't think I want to be associated with that person, with that entity, with that fictional character.
Yeah. Never, I thought, I'm going to be debating, was there slavery in ancient Israel, until the day I stopped doing YouTube. I never thought I'd be dating, should we have ancient Israelite slavery here in modern America? I just never thought that would be a debate that would ever come up.
Well, I had this joke I was telling for a while about how, what was it? That Republicans thought or think that slavery was just a form of unpaid internship, that it was a form of a prototype for Social Security or something like that,
Yeah, that's like G-Man's position is, slavery didn't exist. His position is slavery in America didn't exist. And that, it's essentially that. It was just like, he's an intern.
Yeah. Someday he's gonna make it up. The corporate ladder.
Oh yeah, but it kind of. He's like, man, maybe I'll debate Dr. Josh and Skylar because it could be more nuanced. It wasn't nuanced with Rage, and it wasn't. I threw my headphones and I called him every F word in the book. because it's just hard. After a while, it got hard to hear it. But I'm like, Skylar probably isn't going to do much better, dude.
Rach, I feel like we should just get together sometime, and I'm just going to say crazy words at you and phrases just so to help you desensitize.
Yeah.
Help you desensitize to those things.
Like,
but I feel I can only handle so much before I go into roast mode. It's difficult for me.
Well, what's messed up about it is CJ is one of the good ones. He's one of the ones you like talking to.
That is sad.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been missing the show. I've been sleeping later because I'm back to work. So how y'all been doing? It's been a while.
It's been just cranking out, doing the work, Rage. You know what it's like, man. I prepare for maybe well over an hour for the show every day. Think of crappy jokes, think of the stories that are worth telling, right? Because there's so much information. It's really about what are the salient parts, what's important for today, but also where the trends are going in the next, year, 5 years, 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people realize how hard it is to have good jokes ready. One of the most prepping set, if I could speak right, like one of the longest prepping sessions I ever had. I spent 8 hours one time looking up for the right jokes to go into a conversation with Smokey Saint, because the entire hour, my strategy was I'm just coming with jokes, and I did. I found the right ones, but it took me 8 hours.
Well, that's why that's why you have people writing jokes for professionals, right? For people who are doing these late night shows, night after night after night, there's a team of joke writers, and they're given, you got to write 10 jokes about these 10 jokes each for these news stories. And that just day after day. So yeah, it's a tough road. It's a tough road. Digital, Dr. Josh says, and let me see if I can get this up on the screen here. That is honestly my biggest concern about slavery apologetics, because the legal rationale in the Hebrew Bible and antebellum South are so similar. It could lead to a repeat in history. Yes, indeed.
It is kind of scary. It's one of the things, cause I get ridiculed a lot because I'll say things like, I don't think people are realize just how close we actually are to evangelicals burning us at the stake again. People are like, oh no, that'll never happen. But I'm like, well, the more Christians you hear talking about reprobates, the more Christians you hear saying, oh yeah, let's reinstitute slavery. Yeah, like we're closer than we think we are to these. If they were to get theocracy, they'd do it without a second thought. Blasphemy laws would be right back up, and we'd all be screwed.
I'll tell you this: if you want to talk to people who take that seriously, it's the people over at the Satanic Temple. They take that shit seriously. It's like, oh yeah, hung, burned, whatever.
Yeah,
wouldn't even blink an eye over it.
Yeah, it's when you see statistics like 50% of the country thinks that humans and dinosaurs live together, that's scary shit, man.
It's crazy. I have actually recently had a conversation with somebody, and this is a non-believer, and the things that they were bringing up, they kept on talking about subjects that were linked to right-wing talking points, and I ended up closer to the end of the conversation, I pointed it out. I was like, do you know that like everything that you've been talking to me is like right-wing politics? Like, and that they weren't bringing up politicians and stuff, but like the subject matter, like vaccine, like the dude did not really want to do vaccines, and there were other subjects that were talked about. And after listening to him, I had said that, and boy, did I stir up some shit.
Yeah.
I hear it daily. I have to. I'm a manager in a restaurant, and I'm a manager in a restaurant where a lot of Trump supporters come in. They hang out at the bar, they get drunk, and they talk shit. I hear it's like a nonstop duplication of what they just heard on Fox News or Newsmax or any of that stuff. It's and they say it like they're giving some great revelation, and it's just it gets really wearing. It's to the point sometimes I have to go to my boss, like, you're dealing with them fuckers now because I'm about to snap. You know, I'm gonna go and do something else.
Well, you can see how the memes become metastasized, and memes in that Richard Dawkins kind of way, right? These snippets of ideas that just get put out into the zeitgeist there, and out into the general population, and they just spread and spread and spread.
Mm. Yeah, you know, when it comes to people that had COVID, one of the big right-wing talking points right now is, oh, you're good, you don't even need a vaccine. The only people that are saying that is Rand Paul and this one university that had a very obscure study that most people don't take seriously, a university in Chicago. They're the only ones that are saying this. And yet they're perpetuating it like it's just absolute truth. You know, Dr. Rand Paul tells you that if you had COVID, then you're already vaccinated. And I'm like, no.
Did that dude an eye doctor? I mean,
I don't even know what he was. Yeah. But all of a sudden he's a doctor again, even though he's been a crappy politician for the last however long.
Yeah. And you know, it's about, what is it? The scientific consensus, right? So what does the scientific consensus say? Well, it says that not getting a vaccine is pretty fucking stupid unless you're immune compromised, unless you medically can't do it. Maybe.
Yeah, I had COVID and I got the vaccine. You know, it's just, all the data says you should get the vaccine even if you had COVID. Like, there was data coming out like if you had COVID, you might be able to get it again. So,
oh yeah, dude. Yeah, there are people who've gotten COVID more than once.
I would not want round 2. You know, it did enough damage round 1.
that would fuck you up. That would. There's no doubt about that. Scapegoat says, a guy told me he wasn't taking the vaccine for reasons. 2 days later, I was told he had COVID. I imagine covered it was COVID, and you got spell checked there. I haven't had any symptoms yet, but it's only been 5 days. Have you taken a test, Scapegoat? Because I know, for me personally, a friend of mine had a breakthrough infection, and I got one of the tests from CVS, one of the home tests, and I cried like a baby, like I did with all the other tests I've gotten for COVID. And my girlfriend's like jamming it up my nose, and luckily she had seen me cry like a baby before the last time I had the test.
Yeah, the test is uncomfortable. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, it's going to be a classic example of negative reinforcement. Negative reinforcement is when, you apply a noxious stimuli, and then a behavior occurs to end the stimuli. So you have these people who are going to be mandated to get these tests, right, for federal jobs or for their everyday jobs, right, in the private sector. So if you have to get these horrible tests done once or twice a week, then that's an incentive for you just to get the freaking vaccine, just so that.
Yeah. I still feel it digging around in my brain, and I got it back in October. I would not want to do that once a week, or even once a month, even. No.
Yeah. Scapegoat says, I told my doctor, but haven't heard back from them yet. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, this new Delta variant, I think stuff's getting bad again. Like I said, I think that's why my appointment for today was postponed a month, is just because, hospitals are starting to see it again. It's starting to amp up again.
Yeah. It's better to be safe than sorry, right? It's better to be cautious and prudent when you're having like the Delta variant course through a population. Yeah.
No, I was pissed though. Like, I've been looking forward to this. I'm gonna have to go another month now before I even find out about. It's aggravating, but at the same time, it's like, what are you gonna do? We live in different times. It's a different world than it was 2 years ago.
Black female atheist. I won't put this up, but I'll just read it. Black female atheist says that you got to have proof of vaccination or get tested once a week. That's yeah. And
I think New York just passed a mandate on proof of vaccination.
Yeah.
It'd be really cool whenever they get a better test, though, because if you can test more frequently and be comfortable with it, that seems like almost like a really good backup, or I don't know how to word what I'm trying to say, but if
You know,
we're
any
able to
test-
test frequently, I don't know. It seems like it would help with statistics.
I'll tell you how bad the test is for me. All right, and what a baby I am. I was telling my girlfriend this after the most recent test. I told her, when I get the prostate exam from my doctor on my yearly physical, I would rather have that than a test for COVID-19. I would rather do that. I'd rather have the butt exploration than the nasal swabs. Yeah, that's how bad it is for me.
Yeah, I did not enjoy the getting the COVID test at all. It was awful. One of the worst experiences ever.
Yeah.
Although
you would think there'd have to be an easier way than that. Right?
Indeed.
I've never gotten the test, but I learned this way to flush your nasal passages with lukewarm water and salt, and like you flush it out, and it supposedly clears all the ways so you can sing better. Whenever you sing, it'll like come out better if you clear all that crap out, and that is a very interesting feeling. I tell you what. So yeah, I kind of get how it would be irritating to stick a freaking cotton swab. Like they basically get to the top of that where it curves back, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
You
my
can-
sister got into neti pots like that for a while. Not sure if
neti
she
pots.
still uses them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting the cringes just thinking about it again.
Rach, I gotta tell you what's awesome about your background is every once in a while there'll be like an explosion, a little bright light that goes off, and I'm like, I wonder what's going on with Rage over there.
Yeah, I really like this. I need to start using it again more because I got away from using my green screen. It's just so much easier not to use it. And but I've always loved the imagery of it, especially considering like so many Christians have already damned me to hell. It's insane. It's very fitting, very fitting.
It is pretty cool. See, now I'm just transfixed by it. I have to tell you, I gotta stop looking at it.
I know everybody's like, how do you do that? And I'm like, the tricks of the trade that I have learned along the way, my friends. But it's very simple OBS virtual tool. In conversations though, like open room scenarios, it kind of sucks because like, with Tobin's avatar, when he talks, you see a little thing and it kind of indicates that he's talking. Yeah. You don't get that with this. So
right. But you do get the flashing lights randomly, which is like absurdly reinforcing.
And I can pretty much do anything. So I could one of the things that I like to use is either images of flying. So flying through the clouds, that works. But a lot of people, some people don't like it for whatever reasons. But then I love to use footage from the International Space Station looking down at Earth. But I can pretty much use anything that's not going to get me a copyright.
Right. Yes. That's it right there. So Black Female Atheist says the swab needs to reach as far back as your pharynx, basically your nasal pharyngeal, in order to collect a sample test. So yeah, it's deep. And Dragon says, tell them the COVID vaccine protects against chemtrails. I like that. I like that a lot.
That would probably work. Man, I've had too many damn conversations about chemtrails in my life.
Well, I'm going to a family reunion. This is my biological family. People, I've met my mom. I've met my sister and 2 out of 3 of my brothers. And so this is going to be an extended family get together. So I get to see what my mom's side of the family specifically looks like, her brothers and sisters and other relatives. And so I'll be interested. I'm looking forward to interesting conversations because it's in upstate New York or outside of New York City. And so I'm wondering what people are going to be talking about.
So from your perspective, it would just be a family union.
Yes, exactly. There's no real in this. It's more like a get to know you, one of those awkward breakout meetings, maybe. I don't know, that you'd have at a conference. It's like, hi, my name's Andy. I live in Boston. Well, actually, it's Somerville, blah, blah, blah. Here's my child who decided to come with me. Here's my girlfriend. Yes, we are big liberals. Yes, I'm that guy who does that thing. I'm sorry if you looked at any of my YouTube videos or read my blog posts. Yeah, well, that's the thing. When I was
Left wing. I
well,
was gonna say left wing media Illuminati over here.
Illuminati, indeed. I'll tell you the big difference between being here in this space on YouTube as against the blogging. Blogging, I was completely anonymous. People really didn't know who I was. But this is different. People see my face all the time, and there's no denying that who I am. And yeah, much more public here.
It's only happened to me twice. Oh, sorry.
You can still be a CG character, Andy. We don't know.
That's right. That's all I'll say. Can this face be really real? Come on.
It's only happened to me twice that somebody recognized me from YouTube in real life. One of them was a good encounter. He enjoyed the content. The other one wasn't. I didn't enjoy either though. It was uncomfortable. It was like when it happened both times. I remember thinking like, this is why I should have just used an avatar the whole time. Yeah.
So you were just out and about, Rage? Were you at a conference? What were you doing?
One was at work. They recognized me and started talking to me about my YouTube channel. That was weird because I don't like that. I'll talk about it with people that know about it behind the scenes at work, but never out for customers to hear. And then another time was at the library.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the library here in town. Because usually I'll go to the library in Michigan and Lansing because it's one of the best libraries you can find. And but I was actually at one here in town and somebody recognized me. But that could have been more from Facebook because I was sharing a lot of my stuff on Facebook and it was getting around. But the other time was definitely a YouTube viewer and he was just striking up conversations and I'm like, I don't want to talk about this here.
Because of the field that I work in, there's a lot of religious people who work in human services, and they're great. They are people who actually are living the deal. They're living the creed in some ways, in the fact that they're trying to help other people, right? But they're actively trying to help the most destitute people. But I will not talk about the YouTube channel or blogging, or even that much about atheism, unless I really, really feel safe.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I am too. Like I've had such bad experiences with my family with it that it's like I pretty much see it as any kind of relationship stopper unless you're very familiar with them. I put this tattoo on my arm, and it says fiction and it's in religious symbology and it has the universal symbol of the atheist behind it. Most people don't figure it out, but that's happened more than like my YouTube channel. I still love having it right there. I put it right there for a reason. But most people that figure it out really have a bad reaction to it. A couple people do that will have had good reactions to it. Oh, I love your tattoo. But it's like I get more from that than I ever have from YouTube. But I'm not big like say like Jimmy Snow or even Godless Engineer. Like it would probably be a lot worse for them.
Dragons in Genesis said, I noticed a logo for my podcast on someone's phone at a coffee shop. Luckily, most people who follow me only hear my voice and have no idea what I look like. And that is the benefit of podcasting. You're right. So, Rage, do you know what's going on with the Jimmy Snow stuff? Is he back to normal?
He's back to it seems like he's back to his shows. I haven't really watched his stuff in a while. I'm still sketchy. I ultimately decided to, after our conversation about it that one day when it was fresh, I was like, I'm just going to step away from this and not even really pay much attention. But it does look like he's at least back to putting out his content. So
yeah. Well, don't worry. There'll be another atheist drama at some point.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Well, and I'm sure, if this won't go away. You just like non-sec. None of it ever really goes away. It's very draining.
Sure enough. I just try to focus on what I'm doing, basically, and the people who I like.
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from drama myself, but I found something so delicious that I'm just gonna have to have a pop-up stream and do it. I can't help it.
So what's the deliciosity about? I'm
Well,
curious.
I had praise on my channel a couple weeks ago, and he come out against Smokey Saint and finally doing the good Christian thing, right? And then like not a day later, Smokey comes on, probably because he saw him on my channel. And got once you do it on Rage's channel, you're crossing a line. So this rare thing happened, right? So Thick Shades is this guy that came out with the allegations against Smokey, and Thick Shades ends up on this stream with Smokey and praise and standing for truth, and it was just one of the most beautiful confrontations that I've ever seen. Ending with Dr. Kenny Rhodes coming on and saving Smokey's ass. So I was like, I've got to show this now. I just said that I was never going to cover Smokey again, blah, 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 blah. But this is delicious. I can't pass it up.
I am intrigued.
Oh, yeah. Like Thick Shades the entire time is calling him Josh. I mean, this is just beautiful. Pop-up stream as soon as we're done here over on my channel is going to be great.
Who I have been watching fairly consistently is Reverend Brother Heathen on the Tang channel. They do a Thursday night show.
Yeah, him and Skiz the Clown. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. I've been watching it and impressed with the values and production values, as well as just Jimmy. Just what he's able to do. I swear to my fictitious God, for the first 5 minutes, Jimmy's just standing there, while Skids is doing his shtick. And he's just like, it's like, oh man, he's ready to pop off. He's going to pop off about something. I don't know what, but he's just got that look on his face. I really enjoy his performances.
I couldn't be in character for the entire time. Like, I used to do this Poe character called Earl. He's just like this white Southern redneck dude that, smacked around his woman, spit Jesus tobacco out of his mouth. And people would, you got to do a live. I'm like, there's no way I could do a live episode for an hour trying to pretend to be this guy. Yeah. It's hard enough to do it, cutting it and making edits and not laughing my ass off as I'm trying to say this crazy shit. So yeah, what he does is totally insane to me, to be able to stay in character like he does.
Right, being able to stay in character, respond in character.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. No way.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I think I'm going to have Skids on the channel at some point. Do a best advice ever, or just have a conversation.
Yeah, I really like the work Tang is doing just overall on their channel. They have a bunch of different stuff. Oz has really kind of opened it up, because it just started with Oz, and I think it was like 3 other of them, TikTok friends.
Right.
I remember interviewing them way back in the day, or I think John did it on Apostate Alliance way back in the day when they were first kind of coming out on YouTube. And just to see the way that the channel has evolved, and now they've got all of these really good quality shows. So it's good stuff going on over there.
Yeah, dude. He just recently went out and started doing street epistemology, like sitting out.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty dope, dude. Yeah.
And that was a really good fucking interview. The way he kept his demeanor and stuff like that, he kept the conversation going. I was like very impressed with that. I was very stoked to hear that kind of conversation. I enjoy it.
It seems like it plays to that format. Of course, we pick formats, right, that play to our strengths. So so Rage does Rage, right? Because that plays to your natural strengths. I do whatever I do here because that plays to my natural strengths. But when I look at Oz and his kind of phlegmatic, his kind of calm demeanor, and able to roll out, topics, I think that feeds into his natural skills too.
Yeah, one time Pasta Mike came into a side chat, and me and Oz, we have a lot of similarities. He's a lot calmer than I am, but we have a lot of similarities. And Pasta Mike came into the side chat one time, and he's like, there's a working theory going on. You've never seen Rage and Oz in the same room at the same time. And I'm like, no, yeah, we've been in the same room at the same time. Nice try, buddy. But I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah, he's doing really great work, man, and they all are. Wes is I've talked to Wes a couple times over the years. He's a good dude, and he does really good work behind the scenes for him. So yeah, I'm impressed with their channel right now. It's one of the channels, like if I can wake up in time, I can catch your show pretty regularly. I can catch the Tank show pretty regularly because they're on as I'm getting out of work, so I can I can actually watch it.
Cool. So, I think I'm gonna start closing down the show because I gotta get to work, and there's some issues I need to resolve before going to work today. With work, there are issues with work about work.
Responsibilities.
Responsibilities. How I hate them. Hate the responsibilities. Hate them so much. Anything new with the house, Tobin, before we close up the year? When do you think you're going to be done with the little house, with the house that you're building?
Man, see, I have something else that's going to delay my work on it. I'm going to be going to Florida, I think next week. I have some business to go take care of, but really, I hope we can. I really wish it to be true that by like next month, maybe by the end of next month, we'll be able to like really use it and like, yeah.
So, J Mike, I want to say hello to J Mike. He just popped into the side chat here.
Oh, J Mike is awesome. This dude tears the guitar up too. Like
really?
You can see his clips on YouTube. He jams out, and he's really freaking smart. He uses a bunch of words that have like 3 syllables in them, and I have to go and look them up and stuff.
Right.
Really smart dude.
So, Tobin, I feel like, and I don't want this to be an intervention here, right? But I hear that you're going to Florida.
Yes. Yeah.
I take it that I take it that it's important business.
Yeah, I do have family over there, and my brother has a vehicle that he no longer uses. He just got a new one, and my kids are about to be driving and stuff. They're going to be able to get their license, so I might drive back a Ford. I might be getting another vehicle.
All right.
But yeah, it is. I've had it told to me, you go to Florida on vacation and stay for probation. You
ever seen the Florida Man videos on YouTube?
Oh, absolutely.
That's great. Well, thank you, Black Female Atheist, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Dude, so good luck. Yeah. What, you gonna say something, Dr. Tom?
One thing I want to say about multi-syllable words. Myself and Dr. Kennard are both experts in cryptology, which is 6 syllables.
Oh, hey, I see what you did there. That's good. That's indeed. So I guess I'll see you all later. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the cat show, and then of course the open room at 10. But thanks, panel, Tobin, Dr. Tom, Crypt Crawl, Anarchist, and Rage. It's always a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Oh yeah. Your open rooms are like one of the few I do now. It's a safe spot. I can be safe.
Dude, I have such a low bullshit tolerance level for crap. So yeah, I try to make it. It isn't as much of a safe space as just a space where douchebags don't come in and derail the conversation.
Yeah, I enjoy that about your show.
Yeah,
don't change it.
Oh no, I am not. I am definitely not. All right, take care, everyone. I'll see you tomorrow. And I'm hitting the end broadcast button.